Hello there, it's me, Aletya Putya Deacon me for this special Met Office report. Weather weapons, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods and cyclones are just a few topics that I have been briefed on and will now spend the next few minutes trying to baffle you with some pre-prepared nonsensical mumbo-jumbo. Now, as I'm sure you will agree, the full-on covert attack using weaponized weather against the world is merely just another conspiracy. It is, of course, totally normal for a hurricane to intensify 300 miles inland, high in the mountains above sea level, and completely wipe out and level the entire area. This normally happens when huge amounts of people selfishly and inconveniently live around the lithium that you want to mine. And with an ever-increasing arsenal of new stealthy weapons, we are already starting to see them being utilized to clear huge amounts of land and people so the rich can rebuild on the stolen land, just like they did in Maui with the direct energy lasers and the wildfire. Now, as technology advances, human intelligence declines, and with that in mind, I would like to explain why those pictures of laser weapons being used that you little scamps put on social media are easily explained. And yes, although we now admit having weapons such as the UK's Dragonfire laser and others, and yes, even though it is exactly what the destruction would look like, that's not what we are doing. A recent statement released from the US Government Accountability Office stated it had fuck all to do with them. And although they were playing with the ionosphere at the time and have indeed been actively increasing sea temperatures through seeding and microwave energy, that by no means suggests its involvement in strengthening and steering hurricanes as proposed in US patent number US 2010072297A1. That is just one of many patents in the proposed ideas book to steer and modify hurricanes. One thing your government is brilliant at doing is spending billions on theoretical ideas such as weather modification and geoengineering that they absolutely would not dream of using without first fully informing the public. So what's in store for the ununited kingdom? There's only one thing that you need to remember, and that is that here at the Met Office weather station, we love to colour code everything, so it's easier for really dense people to understand. With that in mind, if you live in the areas with blue in it, then you're basically underwater. But if you live up by Scotland, you'll notice a funny brown colour there, and that is the same colour as shit. So if you live in the brown area, we can assume your weather is shite. Yellow, on the other hand, means a chance of the Chinese blowing in from across the Atlantic. Many people reporting in lately about the lack of phone signal these past weeks when they live by the mast. Not to worry though, those masts are not for your phone signal. They are to microwave you in your sleep, in which case they work just fine, as you can see indicated by the red on the map there of the most radiated areas. It's time now to introduce a close friend of mine and renowned hypothetical meteorologist from the Hogwarts School of Atmospheric Science, Professor Peter File. Peter, thanks for joining us. Peter, I've had this big red swirling thing on my screen now for days. It keeps popping back up every time I'm playing solitaire. Any suggestions as to what it could be?
Well, you're absolutely right, of course. That is definitely a swirling red thing. I can see a bit of green swirls too there. Interesting. Sometimes when polishing, it's possible to push too hard and pop the screen.
What, so you're saying I pushed too hard here and popped the telly?
Yeah, maybe, although the last time I seen this sort of thing, a Cat 5 hurricane hit unexpectedly and people got flooded with water up to here. They blamed lack of warning, but they soon swam up, poked their heads out and were fine. Maybe this swirling thing is somehow related.
For fuck's sake, suppose we better take a closer look then. What do you reckon that is then, genius?
Well, it's an obvious one that, if we refer to our coded chart, white usually means a cloud of geoengineered smog, if I'm not mistaken. This occurs deliberately, believe it or not, when your government protects you from the damaging sunlight, a good 70% of which will stay in the upper atmosphere reflecting heat, whilst the other 30% does not. Let me tell you where it does not go. It does not rain down all over the food, people, animals and trees, and does not embed itself deep in your lung tissue before self-replicating nanotech runs wild in your body. Nope. We did hear that OceanGate got the new contract for the Hurricane Directional Steering Machine and was in fact driving Hurricane Helene with an Xbox 360 controller when the worst happened. The batteries drained quicker than expected, meaning there was no way they would be able to steer it all the way to Diddy's cell. And That's when they lost control and it shot off by itself, heading for hills.